Hi. This reading will be the first of its kind on my YouTube channel. So if you're watching, not only thank you for watching at all, but thank you for being a resonant frequency with something that I am trying very newly. That means a lot to me because generally in my life, there's a lot of newness in the air. There's a lot of newness with the way that I'm recording this video. And I take the frequency of newness to be something very raw. So chances are very likely that if you're watching this reading, you're not, minus the fact that maybe you found this by chance, you're also probably someone who resonates with the intention to be kind, present, sincere, authentically yourself, aligned to your authenticity and to true intention. You got a very light as a feather heart. So thank you for existing in the way that you do. This reading, I obviously intend on it to be for you, but in general, I intend on channeling something true. Normally with these kind of things, especially when they're impromptu, specific channelings or whatever, it's always has to join the sensationalist tarot reading river of this good news is coming, you're watching this at a good time, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, all of my readings are intended on that, where if you're watching, it's because you resonate with either me or what it is that I'm about to share with you. If neither of those things are true in this moment that you're watching this, then please stop watching. If you're still here with me, then along with the frequency of rawness, trueness, all the readings that I do in general are intended to uplift. Whether or not this information is going to be hard-hitting, some let's get real shit, I don't know. Like I said, this will be the first reading of its kind that I'm doing. I don't know what may be going in your life right now. What I just gave via your sincerity and your dedication to your authenticity is the quickest thing that I could fetch. I'm going to pull cards, see the situation that you watching this reading was intended to bring to your awareness. I hope that you're ready and that you can tell how on the spot I'm pulling out all of this information. This is really, really new for me. So thank you as well for being patient with me. I hope you're ready for a change. It feels like there's a change oncoming that you will not be privy to. There's no amount of tarot readings or cards that can be pulled to get the full picture of how it is that your life is about to change, but it will, and it's exciting because it feels like it's a change that you've been waiting for a very, very long time. So much so, and I read for a collective that feels this. I've been feeling into this energy for basically the whole year. This is something that you've been waiting so long for that you almost forgot that this is something that you wanted. You forgot about it completely. Not so much I think maybe some part of you intended on this when you manifested this change, that, the whole thing of how when you manifest, you have to put it to the side and then let it do its thing, trust God, surrender, blah, blah, blah. But I think that the point at which you forgot that you wanted this speaks more towards the fact that you kind of gave it up in a way. It took so long that you shrugged your shoulders and resigned to the possibility that you may never get it. At the time of your resignation, you probably felt a little bit low about it, but congratulations on detaching, on learning the art of detachment and learning how to really let what you love go. That feels like, with how sensitive and sincere your heart is, it feels like that must have been a very hard lesson to learn, a very personal one. There are no words to actually describe that lesson. I relate very much to that, learning how to like detach a little bit, because we're just so attached with everything, feel very deeply. So learning how to detach and to let go and let God was a very difficult lesson for you. But you did it, and you're about to see with this big change that comes that you did do it. Like, congratulations, you're about to see the results of your work, of your internal work. Very important. Just to note and to, like, I guess, finish it off properly, because your internal world, your internal work has been something that you've been investing in very deeply, not in the simple societal behaviors of applying for therapy, doing yoga, do. I'm talking about the quiet battles that you had at night when you were so overcome with emotions you didn't know what to do with. You couldn't even reach out to people to describe the way that it is that you were feeling. So you had to isolate, you had to sit by yourself and process really deep, heavy emotions that you still to this day don't have any words for. Shout out to you. It's a lot of deep work that you did. I don't really like a whole story of cards. I really don't. I feel like it muddles so many things up. So you did get a lot. This shuffle now brought a lot of cards out, which for me always implies that there must be a lot going on, either in your head or in your heart or both, which I think is why I felt called to open with gratitude for you, for your pursuit, for alignment. Because with all of that, all of this, it's difficult, and not enough people validate you. I don't think it's possible, actually, to validate someone for their internal work, because it's such an unseen realm. But anyway, shout out. One card, please. Or just three. Not too many. Right. So there's a card that fell towards the screen. The Knight of Discs fell out upright. And then, okay. And then we have the Nine of Rods and the Lovers. So just by the way, these two cards I know for certain are cards that fell out during that shuffle. This card jumped out to me at first. So I'm going to take this as the operative energy that needs your focus and your full attention. This card speaks of being vulnerable. I'm immediately getting the sense of, and this is where I'm at personally now, which I think is why I was called to do this at all, because, yeah, we're in the same boat right now. So let me speak from the inside out. I have been trying to integrate the lesson of accepting myself for everything that I am. Not necessarily being proud of my flaws, but at least being able to show up to the fact that I am a flawed person. This has been a difficult wound for me to integrate because of how I don't really know how to do that. And I realized very late that I don't know how to accept myself for everything that I am. I'm always on this mission to fix the things that I think are flaws instead of just sitting with them and accepting that that's what they are. And then with that, accepting the journey that I choose to embark in my efforts to change, be different, be more like whatever it is or whoever it is that I am placing ideally in my mind. With the vulnerability that this card portrays, I also take it to be an encouragement to live in the moment, which I can say is something that I'm practicing. I'm trying to integrate even further than I think I ever have. And I think is very naturally implied when you pursue states of vulnerability and acceptance of all of who you are. That is, I feel, a natural invitation to be in the moment. So I get the sense that that is where you're at as well. You are trying harder than you ever have to really live in the moment and to surrender to everything that you may be feeling moment to moment, likely as well because you are feeling a lot right now. I'm also getting the assumption, the sense, I don't know why I use that word, but anyway, the sense that part of what's making you feel really vulnerable right now has to do with intense feelings that you may or may not have towards someone in your life who you are very attracted to, who is very charming. I'm getting the sense that this is very particularly romantic. So if this by now does not resonate with you, stop watching. And if you are still watching, there is it feels very crush coded. Somebody who, okay, off the bat, again, like me, we're not very good with crushes because of how vulnerable the state of having a crush puts us in. It puts us almost out of control. So many emotions happening at once. You find these little desires and impulses, you have to miss them, to think about them, to wonder about what they're doing. They stand in front of your ability to be grounded and to remember to go about your day. I'm feeling a slither of a room for this connection to be a purely platonic one. That is to say that there is someone who you have a very expansive, very big friendship crush on, someone you really want to connect with is what I'm just getting flat out. There's someone you really want to connect more with. You want to get to know them a lot more than you have been given room to do. And it feels like there's been a lot of time between this moment that you're watching this video and the last time you were with them. And this span of time has given you a lot of time to think. This span of time has given you a lot of time to think, be vulnerable, be in your feels, roll around in everything that you're feeling. And I think that because of how expansive everything is going in your body, it's feeling a little bit overwhelming, a little bit intense, a little bit uncontrollable, unpredictable. It's making you consider a lot of things about the potential of what would happen if you two did connect. I'm getting a sense of a lack of trust here, but I'm not sure. I can't really tap into where it's coming from. I just know that there's an air of distrust. I received earlier when I was describing the crush that this is someone who you find to be very charming, who you admire for their charisma, for their ability to hold themselves down in a conversation, for the way that their aura is like permeable through a room. You have a crush on someone very powerful. And I'd just like to point out that this draw you have towards them, again, whether platonic or romantic, I'd like to remind you, and I'm sure you're aware of this, but just so you remember, this person holds a very potent reflection of something you hold within you that I believe is ready to blossom or grow within your own psyche. So please take note of that it's highly likely that this is happening, this connection or this desire to get to know or like connect with someone is happening because this person reflects a part of yourself that is ready to connect with yourself. You understand? You're ready to level up, basically. Beneath the deck, We have the 10 of discs, and then the 9 of discs, and then the world, which is a brilliant 3-card story to have in any reading, regardless of what that reading is about. And I think feeds into what I just mentioned now, which is the fact that you are ready to ascend. You're ready to step into a version of yourself that you have been wanting to be for a very long time, that again, you thought would never come. It's like, okay, going right back to the beginning of this reading, there's a version of yourself that you envisioned yourself to be. There are flaws and ways of being and thinking that you hold within you right now. You thought that getting to that ideal version of yourself would take a complete shedding and eradication of all the flaws and things you dislike about yourself right now. The catch or the trick or whatever, I don't know, the illusion, right? The illusion. The illusory effects of this world in general, life, God. The illusion was in the fact that you thought that you needed to eradicate and totally laser away all those unfavorable parts about you. What you were actually supposed to do, which is something you are learning to do right now, was to accept those parts, not get rid of them, not pretend they're not there, not try to go about your life and your days as if you are not a flawed person. The awakening, the gag, is that all you needed to do was accept those parts of yourself and be shameless about it. So to tie it back to me, I'm an obsessive person. I'm very intense. I stalk like a motherfucker. I'm talking to a crush. They send me a voice note. I will play that voice note over and over and over and over and over and over again throughout the day. Past version of me that thought that the past version of me that perceived this through the lens of shame thought there's no way that I will be the ideal, individualistic, powerful, control my own energy, free person that I want to be. There's no way I'm going to be that person if I continue obsessing, stalking, being intense, and being weird. Wrong. The answer was that I should just accept that that's who I am. Wear the costume of obsession and intensity proudly and just go about my life being real about that. Just be honest about it. Come to the understanding that there was never anything wrong with what I perceived as wrong with myself. And all I really needed to do was hold less shame about it. This card also speaks, referencing what it is that I'm going through. And because there are obviously many layers to releasing shame about yourself. There are many layers to the innate shame that you feel in your body, especially if you're a person of color. So this card references those many layers and I think ties to the fact that this shame that you experience, the shame that you've been given, the shame that you are used to placing over yourself and the way that you go about your life isn't yours alone. It's a lot of the time learned behavior that you picked up from your members of your community and highly likely from your own bloodline. It's a frequency of shame that you have inherited. So it's nothing that you could help. So I hope that at this point, if it is that maybe you still struggle with accepting your flaws, or maybe you struggle at all with being aware of the ways in which you are flawed, please understand that the work of shame in general is a very intense one. It takes a lot of patience and divine alignment. And in this divine alignment, there's this assumption that there is something bigger than you working with you to realize yourself, working with you to help you realize yourself. So in this journey overall, I hope that you can come to remembering forgiveness for yourself and really surrendering to the greater story of everything. That part about how, divine timing, some things really can't happen any sooner than they're meant to. But with this thing coming in, and it honestly, it's likely romantic, this thing that's coming in. But I'm not getting the sense of a new relationship as much as I'm not getting the sense of a new relationship with the other as much as I'm getting the sense of a new relationship with your own self and with all the parts of yourself that have been waiting for you to accept yourself. So there's a new frequency coming in overall for you, a new way of feeling that is going to leave you in a position of real enjoyment. If you're somebody who has struggled with your mental health, and with generally, just to extend on that mental, specifically with your will to enjoy life, not just to live it, but to really enjoy it, be happy, be in the moment, try not to worry. If you're anxious, if you're somebody who processes through anxiety, then what is coming is a release from that, which is a huge deal considering how common it may have been in the past for you to worry about shit, a really wonderful season of enjoyment that will be well-deserved and backed up by, I believe, ancestral confirmation, universal confirmation. So look out for synchronicities, coincidences. Yes, look out for moments of coincidence. I feel like that might happen a lot for you. And I'm not just talking about the 111222 numbers and number plates and shit like that. I'm talking like possible telepathic communication. Pay attention to your sensations. You may find yourself in a situation where you feel like you need to call someone, and then maybe a few minutes later they text you or call you. Always so fun, but I think it's even funner when you act on those impulses instantly, the minute you feel them. So when you think about someone, text them, call them, and then it feels like you'll enjoy the response of, oh my God, I was just thinking about you. Are you a witch? I love it when people ask me if I'm a witch, because yes, I am. So I'm also getting the sense of, as an extension of that energy, you will be very connected to your intuition. It feels like along with this beautiful awakening that's oncoming for you, you'll feel divinely connected. You'll feel it. This is you. This is you in the center of your own universe, finally breaking free from whatever previous dedication. It feels like you were loyal to darkness. You were loyal to noticing your flaws. You were loyal to depression, sadness, the feelings of it. Some part of you really thought that shit would be useful. You may have looked down on people who were too joyous and too happy because you thought that they weren't being real or they weren't living a real side of life. And I relate to that very heavily. Breaking free from that, and you're going to understand from the inside out what it is like to be truly happy, which is wonderful. This obviously will come, yes, definitely, with its material changes. You'll be able to experience it in the 3D plane. This is not something that's just going to be awakening from the inside of you. It's going to be an external thing. It's just the external occurrences, please remember, are a reflection of the work that you've done internally. So again, congratulations. A huge congratulations to the work that you've put in to align your external reality with your internal reality so that you're really going to live the truth of as within, so without. And you'll be able to, with all the work that you've done on your energetic body, you will be able to advised a lot of people through them needing to do their work. And who knows, who knows? But either way, congratulations on all the spiritual work that you've done so far. It's a very huge deal that you've gotten this far with everything that you had to transmute, likely by yourself. And thank you for the work that you are always doing. Thank you for your soul. Thank you for existence. And thank you very much for watching this reading. I hope that it helped with, if nothing else, I hope that it at least helped you connect to your truth, which is my greatest intention overall. It's all about authenticity. And I don't think anyone knows this better than you. So shout out.